Hello, everybody. Welcome to our next webinar series, the Ninja Skills for 2025 webinar series. I'm so thrilled that you are here. Just as always, if you're new here, welcome. If you've been following my webinars, thank you for your support. I love to be here. I love to teach when I can. A few housekeeping rules. If you have questions, feel free to put it in the chat and we will ask them sooner rather than later. These are designed to be conversations and to really teach, quick to the point strategies, which is why I picked Maria, quite honestly. If you want somebody who is bold and will tell you something straight to the point, Maria is always who I call. She sometimes scares me into doing the right thing.
Oh my.
So Maria has been in the marketing field doing marketing sales for 32 years, Maria?
Correct.
Yeah, and she is the founder of AMS, our beloved Approved Medical Solutions, which we, if you've been around us at all, you've heard us talk about the nitric oxide, all of their amazing products. But today Maria has created something great for us. She really is a mentor to me when I have sales questions, sales ideas, problems. I take them to her, and her vast experience and knowledge always gets me through it. And so we kind of had the idea a few weeks ago. She has a new product, which is fantastic. But I was telling her, your products are so fantastic, but pharmacists know that people need nitric oxide, and pharmacists know that they need to raise their OTC sales. None of this is like new and exciting information to them. Of course, they know that they need to raise those products that have no PBM hands in it. They just don't know how, nor do they have the resources, time to go learn it quick enough to be able to put it into practice. And Maria said, why don't I use a few of our products as an example and show what I would do, how we could get them selling, started, and off and running lickety split, instead of getting a product, hopping on, trying to do a training, trying to get your techs trained. Maria has a system that's just, I got a new product. We're going to put this in, gals and guys, and we're going to sell it. So I am thrilled that you are here, Maria. Welcome. Tell us, now that I've blabbed, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, as you said, very much to the point. I am in this industry because I lost my 3-year-old son to a drunk driver in 1987. And for 3 years, I was overly medicated, gained a tremendous amount of weight. There was no Ozempic back then. But by the grace of God, I was introduced to an amino acid drink that gave me my brain back. Then I was introduced to ephedra, which helped me lose weight. And I just wanted to go save the world. After 3 years of building an enormous business simply by telling my own story, the company changed the formula so it stopped working. Mm-hmm. So I lost my whole business, everything. And that's when I went into manufacturing in 1994 so that I could control the stuff that I'm putting in my own body would actually be made to levels that does something. So my journey to the point of Approved Medical Solutions, I have consulted for companies. I have taught doctors and pharmacies how to sell, because it doesn't do any of us any good if I'm a really good salesperson and I get you to buy a bunch of bottles of something you're never going to sell. I have not helped you. I have hurt you. Mm-hmm. So what happened, Heather, is in this journey, I kept experimenting with how do I get my customer, meaning the pharmacist or the receptionist, whatever, how do I get them out of the way? They don't have time to learn my world. Mm-hmm. So here I am immersed in it. and constantly finding new things. I mean, I think people think I'm a slight bit wacko, but I pay attention when a product comes along or an ingredient comes along that is measurable and provable. So let's take nitric oxide. So I've been involved with nitric oxide. I was one of the team members that created Super Beats. Mm-hmm. So I've been involved with nitric oxide since 2012. And I created signage and I created brochures, and I was hired to teach doctors and pharmacies how to sell nitric oxide. So the cool thing is nitric oxide can be tested. Your patient can test with a saliva strip, 10 seconds. We do this all the time at all the medical shows. The doctors are walking by, we stop them, test your nitric oxide, they test, they don't have any, they take our capsules, 90 minutes later, they come back to the booth, we test again, and voila, they're off the charts. Their body has converted. So what I didn't know then, and I figured out now at the ripe old age of 69, that pharmacist doesn't have time to test and explain what in the heck nitric oxide is. Mm-hmm. Because the person gets all excited. My old sign used to say, ask to be tested. Well, great. They ask to be tested. You hand them a test strip, and now you got to stand there like I do at these medical shows, explaining to a doctor this isn't laughing gas. It's right. Nitric oxide, not nitrous. So what I've now done, and I don't know if Jennifer got you the sign, but what I've now implemented is a sign and a training to your staff. Do not test the person until they click the QR code. Even if you have to click it for them, it doesn't do any good to show somebody they are not producing enough nitric oxide if they don't even know what nitric oxide is. So what has really worked well, and I've got a couple of pharmacies that are just blowing the doors off this process and the bottles of nitric oxide. Got one pharmacy, Heather, that in Virginia, that's doing about 150 bottles a month. And that wow. represents some serious money because they're making like $20 a bottle. So what is important though with this new signage is that you are not testing the person until they go to this landing page. So the QR code takes them to a landing page.
There we go. It's this one, right?
Yep. And so ask to be tested, but don't test them until they've scanned. Then they go to that landing page, Heather, and look at, this is a color chart. So that little test strip, 99% of the time, they're going to be very low. But right. in any case, the landing page is not a shopping cart. This is the semaglutide.
There we go. There we go.
So now if you scroll, this is the entire story about why they should even care that they're low. So they see all the conditions that are relevant to nitric oxide replenishment. What we found with this sign, the call to action is get tested, ask to be tested, but at least now they know what they're testing. So what I believe we have accomplished, and it's showing up in these pharmacies, is your pharmacist does not have to know my industry. They simply have to know, okay, if the person clicks, give them a test and then show them the bottle. And in 9 times out of 10, there's no talking needed. They want it. They want to buy it. We did the same thing with our GLP-1 supplements. Same thing. Sign, burn, baby, burn. Because that product, the system, not one product, but the system is a thermogenic. It's a hunger is a triple chain amino acid. You put 1/4 teaspoon in water throughout the day. The goal is to get you to not eat without all the stomach distress that comes with the real semaglutides. Now, in my humble opinion, because I've seen people that have had tremendous results with the semaglutide, these things can live together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so important that if you're going to do one shot a week, give the patient other crutches, for the lack of the right word, to get them to lose weight correctly. And the most recent product that Heather was talking about is an exogenous ketone. Nothing has, well, that's not true. I was going to say nothing has changed my life like the ketone, but the amino acid drink changed my life. But this ketone is amazing. You feel it in 30 minutes. There is no hunger. There is brain energy, like, I don't know how to describe, laser focus. But what's fun about the stuff we do, when I put these people into ketosis, there is a device that we carry. It is a 10-second pinprick. And it tells you if you are in therapeutic ketosis. And I have been off the charts. And when I say off the charts, not in a danger zone, but I have been like 3.2, 3.4, 3.7. And I'm, like I said, I'm 69. I'm putting on muscle. I've gained 3 pounds of muscle, which is unheard of. So anyway.
Right. So the first steps then, if you have a product that you can test, like nitric oxide, or something that's really hot, like ketones. Ketones are a hot product out there. So the first thing you want to do is educate without a human. So send that the information in newsletters, in emails. We're going to take the human out of that first initial educating. You're going to be like speed dating instead of asking someone out on a date. That's
yeah, not only, yeah, that's a great analogy for me, because so I didn't like to date. I was raised Catholic. Mm-hmm. So I had to hurry up and get married. So like I wanted to skip that part. And now what I'm really fascinated with, and with your help, Heather, you and I talked about this. Your pharmacies need marketing help.
Yep.
And we have a ton of content that we could hand you, Heather, and then you use that content to communicate with their patients.
Right.
The group in Virginia, he's got a 78% open rate because the email is coming from your pharmacist.
Yeah, that's a great point. So the person that you're talking about in Virginia, many people know him, T.W. Taylor. He's done phenomenal with multiple OTC products. And he uses this step, the educate without a human. Now we'll go into some steps where he educates with humans. But if we go, so step 1 is educating without a human. Step 2 is ask them to show that they are interested. So scan the QR code. They're doing an activity to say yes. They're not saying yes, but through their actions, they're saying yes. And TW uses this one as well. He has great call to actions in his email. I could even Marie is a good sweet talker too. Maybe we could sweet talk TW out of a few emails that we could show as some examples.
Well, I give them to him.
Oh,
so okay. Show you.
Yes.
His company that deploys his emails, she is on our list. So she sees everything we send to our doctors and pharmacies, and she repurposes it, saying, come into the pharmacy and get your XYZ.
Yep.
So and he does it so well, Heather. And you're a master at this. So you should help also people understand how to utilize the content, how to deploy, and how to not have to do the heavy lifting.
Yes, we are working on that faster than than anybody can believe. Although I'll save that. That's a big secret we've got coming. Once they say yes, once they say, yes, Maria, I want to test, then and only then we add a human to the mix, so that you are not running around, or you're not taking away valuable time in your day to speak to what we call in the sales world cold calls. It feels very much like having a sign that says ask to be tested is very similar to a cold call in the sales world. So we're going to take away the cold calls from the humans and give them warm to hot leads. And warm to hot leads, let me tell you, baby, hot leads is like telling a salesperson they've won $1 million. So we want to take our folks from cold leads to warm and hot leads. And how we're going to do that is, once they've put in their information, taken the step to say yes, then if they come in to ask for the test, then absolutely. However, pharmacists, pharmacy owners, I want you to hear me clearly. This does not have to be you. It can be a tech, it can be a clerk, preferably a tech or a clerk, because I mean, let's be real. Some of these girls and guys up front are so dang familiar with their patients that this is just another way to build more rapport, build up their credibility, give them, not the autonomy, but the confidence. And maybe it is autonomy, but the confidence to be able to speak about some of these OTCs that you're trying to move off your shelves. Would you agree?
Let me add to that. First of all, we provide, when you do your opening order, we provide a lunch and learn option if you want your staff trained. And as you know, Donna is one of the best trainers on the planet.
She has trained me.
But here's what is really important. Nitric oxide and the weight management system, they are not one and done. Mm-hmm. Because we have the test strip that we encourage you to sell with the bottle, it becomes a game. And as sure as God made little green apples, that patient is going to go home with those test strips, and somebody else in that household is going to want to be tested and not left behind.
Right.
They're going to come up efficient. They're going to both take the pills. They're going to light up the test strips in 90 minutes. The retention in this product is phenomenal. Now, what makes us different? Why do you care about my nitric oxide versus Super Beets, which I was part of? We learned, I did not know then what I know now. Beets, spinach, the things that everybody's peddling to create nitric oxide is filled with oxalates. We use arugula, which has non-detectable oxalates, third-party validated. That matters to you, because if you have a patient that is susceptible to kidney stones or has unexplainable joint pain, it is most likely due to an oxalate high diet, which there's a new book out called Toxic Superfoods, because they're filled with oxalates. So I have created a company that wants healthy, safe, compliant, ingested products that solve problems. So that's why Approved Medical Solutions is a company that will not carry something if the person doesn't feel it or can prove it, like this Keto Mojo pinprick, 10 seconds. You're in ketosis, you're burning fat, you've got no appetite.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. So that really is when you want to add all that information in the education part. Now, we're never going to stop educating. So we kind of left off at when you add the human. So when you add the human is when you're going to have somebody in your pharmacy, preferably not the pharmacist or the pharmacy owner. Although if it works for you, if it's in your workflow, don't let me determine your workflow. So when the appropriate person in your workflow would give them the test, they would do the test. I love the idea of doing the test and then having them do a video at home with another test that they send into you. You can do that through, one of your generic SMS text messages, or through a dedicated phone line that you get text messages from your patients. I love the idea of them showing how well it is. I will never forget the time that I did mine live. And it was truly shocking to me that I went from like just almost white to bright pink. It was exciting. And I have not stopped taking nitric oxide since, which brings me to the last point, and the lovely point, and the point that we absolutely love, is creating some mailbox money. So just as Maria said, once you start these products, you don't stop, because you do feel better. I've been on nitric oxide for 3 years, Maria, 4 years, maybe 5. It could be going on 5. I have not stopped taking them. And I have a subscription for them. So once you get people on the things they love, companies like AMS can put your patients on subscription. They get the bottles mailed to them. You get the money in your mailbox.
Yes. And I can't stress enough that when you can prove that something you recommended performed, and I can't tell you how many pictures I get of people's test strips. Mm-hmm. They get so excited. It's like an A on your report card. It's addictive because you don't want it to go away. Now, let's be honest. ED, neuropathy, Raynaud's, they don't need a test strip. They feel it. Like your erectile dysfunction, you don't need to take this for a month. It performs that night.
Right.
So it's like the things that drive people crazy, they feel it right away. 90 minutes and all kinds of cool stuff happens. And it's not the pill. It's that the vasodilation has taken place. So circulation is immediate. So just trust me, that nitric oxide and the weight management programs, along with the semaglutide, you have got a safe, feelable, I don't even know if that's a word, system that people don't want it to go away.
Right. And that's the best thing, is that these can be add-on services. For those of you that have heard Lisa talk about this, she talks about, so if the prescription is Ozempic, what are the products that they need in correspondence with this, to help them with this? A lot of what Maria is talking about is that. I would create lists. I would have, these are our top prescriptions. What nutrients are they missing? What do they need? What can just help them? When I was on semaglutide, I did take the hunger management, not so much for the hunger, because
I lost you, Heather.
Would pair those things together, and I sure that, just as Maria is talking about, so when she first started talking, she talked about how great nitric oxide was and what makes them different. Well, she chooses this nitric oxide because of this, and this. That's great education. But what you're going to do, even after someone is purchased and someone is on a prescription, or not prescription, I'm sorry, subscription, even after they are sending you mailbox money, you still want to educate them. So things like emails, newsletters, hey, how's your ED doing? For all of those type of patients, send an email and remind them of all the products that you have that are jumping off the shelves that are working for your patients within. Use testimonials, things like that. So that you're continuously nurturing them. So in the sales world, we call that nurturing after the sale. We are still not only building rapport, but keeping that trust. And just like Maria said, which I love this, once you give somebody a product that they are successful with, that they love, that they can't live without, you will become their go-to person for these products and these services. However, it doesn't take you personally to be in front of them and speak to them every time they come in. We can use the one-to-many method. So you're going to take your awesome knowledge and you're going to continue to nurture and educate them through emails, newsletters, social posts, things of that nature. One-to-many nurturing, and you're almost coaching your patients at that point, which I know that's what you guys are. I guess in my brain, if I put a term on it, it's easier for me. Maria, what do you think about?
No, here's what I want to stress. I promise I know this. Like Heather is saying, I know you are too busy to get in the vitamin business. I have learned over all these years that what I need to do is support you with content. You don't need to write the emails. We'll give you the information. You just push send. And if even pushing send is too much, then we get marketing help for you. But I promise, educate creates retention. And people love, I mean, look at what has happened. Like I just heard this the other day. When did health coaching appear on the scene? Like, how did somebody become a health coach? Like that term didn't even exist in the 2000s, but it is because people want help. Look at how people are glued to their phones. Let's communicate. Let me help. Use our content, use our training, use our signage, use our landing page. That landing page does not have a shopping cart on purpose. It's just a brochure to educate. So I just, Heather, I know how you feel about your pharmacies, and it's embracing them, helping them. It's so amazing. Where, how T.W. Taylor started with us? A little bag stuffer. Every script that went out of that pharmacy had a bag stuffer about the natural complement, because whatever drug they're on, it works better when your veins are pumping.
Yeah, no, that's right. You taught me this a long time ago. If you think of nitric oxide like the train, and it is carrying the medication on the back of the train, then it delivers to the places in your body that it needs. And I love that example. I'm a very visual person. I get it instantly when she said that to me. So absolutely, that's what it does. Now, we will create a PDF that I will take Maria's steps, elaborate on them a little bit, and send them out with the replay of this, along with how to get a hold of Maria and her team, and of course the products that she talked about. Is there any questions at all from anybody? I hope that this has helped. I hope that this gives you actual steps to take, an actual workflow that you can put in place with your staff that can help you sell each and every OTC. And by the way, this works with not just products, but services as well. So sincerely, this same formula can work for services. If you have ED classes, if you have diabetes classes or memberships, things like that, this formula can work the same way for that. You're educating them, you're getting them to say yes to you. You are then adding a personal touch, and that personal touch can be sending an email. Hey, Heather, I saw that you took the nitric oxide test today and you were low. Here's a coupon for 10% off your first order. Something like that could be added, the human touch. Also, it can be automated, so you don't have to send each of those emails individually. Then we are going to keep nurturing them, keep telling them about all the ways that your services product, the nitric oxide, can help. It's not just for ED, it's for diabetic and neuropathy patients too. It's been great as someone who has had weight loss surgery. And then we're going to get them into a subscription so that you can definitely get some mailbox money. I love that term. It's so fantastic. It's really being rewarded for the hard work that you're doing up front.
You know what, Heather? I see a question.
Yeah.
What is the other product taken along with nitric oxide to lose weight? Okay, this is interesting. I was shown a weight loss system that came in this big box, and it was like $248 for this box. Well, I took out the bottles that were in this $248 thing. Well, one was a nitric oxide product. One was a green coffee bean, which is in our thermo product. And the other one was a ketone. So here I'm looking at this box for $248 to the reseller. Then they're marking it up to $500 for 1 month's supply. Well, we already have that. We've got the nitric oxide with the test strips. We've got a product called Thermo that is a fat burner. I lost 11 pounds. I only wanted to lose 6, but I lost 11. So Thermo. Then we've got Hunger, which is a 1/4 teaspoon throughout the day so that you can give me the 14 to 16 hours of fasting, which includes sleeping. So it's not hard if you're not hungry. And then those ketones, like I swear I didn't even think it was the ketones. I thought I was gaining my weight back, but the scale kept saying it was muscle mass.
Oh, that's good.
So, and then I just read a thing from Keto Mojo that told me that ketones can actually help you repair and make new muscle.
Yep.
So here's another question I see. Hold on.
Yeah. How do we sign up? I just gave Jennifer and Donna's emails. Hey, I would be remiss. All of the marketing and some what's the right word? Branded or make it your own marketing is included in the Pharmacy Badass membership. If you text me, along with many other resources for approved medical solutions products and other products, we make them all the time. To become a Pharmacy Badass member, feel free to email me and I will send you my secret code to start the first month free. Included in that is you just send us whatever OTC flyers, things you need. Send it to me. We create it for you. It's all part of your membership, no added cost. So if you would like to do that, send that to me. Hi, Russell, there's a bundle. I will email you the information.
Then there's another question after that.
Yep. What's the number to text? My phone number?
Or mine. You can give mine. I work 24/7. Are you answering?
Yep.
And with this membership of your badass team, I really want to support that because what I know with your help, the success is like you can't fail when you've got a Heather in your marketing corner and you've got products that work and content that isn't fluffy. It's education, education, education.
Yep. So I think that's all the questions answered. Maria, just so you know, I try to make these 40 to 45 minutes so people can get on with their lunches and I'm not taking up too much time. It's part of my my test to myself because I can be long-winded. I apologize if you already said this, but where can we find the research data to support use of I will send all of the resources that we have, or a bunch of the resources that we have, not all of them because we have so many, but a bunch of resources in the replay, Doctor, for everybody to be able to see.
You know, we have organized all the emails that Beth Shirley, who is a pharmacist, she has written our emails, and we can send, Jennifer has them all compiled, so you can have every malady that nitric oxide can help, and they are referenced articles. We're not just making this stuff up.
Yeah. If there's one thing about AMS, and particularly Beth, is if you ask her how to tie shoes correctly, she will go out and research it and find you documentation. And she is the best researcher I think I've ever met in my entire life. She's incredible. Well, we're right at 10:38. Thank you, Maria, so much for coming on and sharing your steps with us. We appreciate it so much. I will send you all the replay and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.